Hello my lovely Flosstube friends, happy 2017 to you all. I hope you had lovely festive seasons and brought the new year in with a bang. So, we're here, new year, so much has happened. Christmas was lovely, super busy as expected. Unfortunately I was a little ill sort of on a few days before Christmas and Christmas Day, but after that I was perfectly fine. So yeah, had a lovely time, got all my Christmas decorations down because I was a bit bored of all the clutter and the mess. So I'm pleased to say that I'm back straight. 2017, it's going to be a good year. It's going to be a good year. So, what to tell you? So much to talk about. So, first video of 2017, I didn't do a end of year review of 2016. Just didn't have time, if I'm honest. There was so much going on and it was so busy. It wasn't going to happen. So I scrapped that idea, and 2017 I haven't made any actual plans. I know, shocker, unplanned. Although I am checking from my book everything that I need to remember. So 2017, plan for 2017. I don't have one. That's it. Don't have one. Not going to have one. I'm going to stitch what I feel. I'm going to stitch what I love. The only plan or the only criteria that I'm going to follow this year, and I'm going to trial this for the year, the only thing I'm going to ensure this year is that I continue with my year of whips. So obviously I joined Melanie's Soulful Stitchers group, with an idea of all of the whips that I would like to get completed for the year, and also some new whips that have been sitting in my drawer that I've never started, that I said I would really like to sort of crack on with. There has been a new start, but I'll talk about that shortly. But my plan for the year is I will have a type of rotation, but it won't be that structured rotation of, okay, well, I'll stitch on one for 2 weeks or a couple of weeks and then I'll switch that out and I'll stitch another one. I've decided that because now that I'm back to work and I'm predominantly more in London than I am at home, the number of hours that I had to stitch, I mean, this is it. When I work from home and I used to finish work at 5 o'clock in the office, it would be from 5 o'clock till whatever time I could just sit and stitch. Now I'm lucky if I'm getting home between 7 and 8 o'clock. So when I do sit down, do I feel like stitching? My eyes are so tired. I've been up since 5 in the morning, so no. So the problem with that is some weeks, if I'm doing more days in London or all week in London, the project that was in on that week barely gets touched. And then there'll be some weeks that I'll be working from home, say 3 days in the week, and it will get lots and lots of attention. So I felt that it wasn't working. I felt like, you know, some of the projects that I really liked would be out on the weeks that I was predominantly in London, so therefore I barely touched them. And then before I knew it, it was time to switch them out, and it just wasn't, I wasn't feeling the love for that. So the decision for this year is I will pull a whip out that I fancy stitching. I will stitch it for as long as I want to stitch it or feel that I love stitching on it, and as soon as I start to show signs of like, oh, it's a bit boring or I'm getting a bit fed up of this one, that's when I'll make the switch. So, you know, so it's going to be interesting. I think I'll get a definite idea of what projects I'm loving and what projects I'm finding a little bit more tedious or difficult. So, but that is the plan. So that is the only plan that I'm making this year. It is going to be a lot harder with working, you know, and doing a big commute, but I'm going to do it. So, what to say? So, the train project thing at the minute has gone on hold, so I'm going on holiday. See, because the weather's so terrible over here, that after Christmas and the hype and the fun and excitement of all that, there's really nothing to look forward to when branches are bare and it's freezing weather. I mean, I know, don't get me wrong, I know there's a lot of you that have got much stronger and harsher weather than we get, but us soft southerners don't cope very well when it gets freezing cold, and it is England, so inevitably it's almost raining or drizzling all the time in the winter, which gets a bit tiresome, especially when you get up in the morning and it's dark and you feel like you're getting up in the middle of the night. You travel as if you're in the middle of the night, and then you go to work and it's freezing cold, and then coming home is exactly the same. You come home in the dark and it feels like it's the middle of the night, and it's freezing cold on trains and walking, and yeah, no, bored of that already. So I'm going on holiday on the 20th of February out to Jamaica to soak up some sun for 10 days. So as you can imagine, I've got 2 things to really look forward to already in the build-up. So I've made sure that there's things for me to look forward to, so there's no slump after Christmas and New Year and it's like, oh no, it's just all work. So the very beginning of February, I'm off to my Stitchy retreat in Crewe for the head retreat, which I can't wait for because that's super exciting. So that is, I believe, the first weekend of February, so not long to go for that. So super excited for that. And then literally a few weeks later, I fly off to Jamaica for two weeks, which will be heavenly. So much to look forward to. And then obviously by then, sort of the worst of the weather should be over, and it will be sort of, you know, gearing up for the summer and the garden, and it's all exciting. So on that basis, obviously because I'm getting ready to be bikini ready, I've also started back to the gym and started getting a bit more active again. So again, less time for stitching and needing to, you know, allocate my time. So with that being said, obviously I don't expect massive amounts of progress over the next couple of months, but I don't expect it to sort of stop completely. So I've made sure that the projects that I'm surrounding myself right now are like, wow projects. So it's all good. What else to tell you? So before we get into the whips and the, you know, the new starts and whatevers, Roses of Provence went off to the framers yesterday. So she's being taken care of and looked after by my lovely framer. And he's basically said that she should be back within about 4 weeks. So if I'm lucky, I should have her back by either by the Crewe retreat or definitely before I go on holiday. So obviously, theoretically, I should be able to get a February update somewhere after my Crewe retreat, but before my holiday. That's my plan. That's where I'm aiming for. So we'll see how that goes, and hopefully I'll have something to show you and where she's gonna hang on the wall. So that's super exciting stuff. So you all know that I was gearing up for a new start between Christmas and New Year, and I've decided on the Chatelaine. I'm doing it as a sale sort of stitching, so it's me, Donna Murray, who is a fellow Flosstuber, and Mary Perkins, our good friend from the stitching retreats. We decided that, I think Mary already had a Chatelaine that she started. Donna ordered hers not long after me. I think she got the chart first and then decided that she would order the stuff from European Cross Stitch. So just as a gentle reminder, just in case you didn't already know this, which you do, here is my Chatelaine. So this is Evening in the Park by Chatelaine. And I decided to bite the bullet and order the goodies from European Cross Stitch. So I went with all the silks. It told me online that it had shipped, so I was thinking, right, okay, prepare yourself for you know, the post thing that comes through the door telling you need to pay X amount of money. Do you know what? I didn't get charged for any shipping. No customs charges. Yay! So it turned up. Because I wasn't expecting it to turn up. When it did turn up, I was like, no, that can't be. And I doubt, like, my husband turned around and said, Baby said, there's a parcel there for you. He said, but it's come from the States. Or it's come from, you know, somewhere where everything's in dollars. So I went, really? And he went, yeah. I said, how much does it say? And he said, oh, you know, it says X amount. And I'm like, no, that can't be it then. Anyway, when I opened it, surprise, and I was super surprised. So I was ever so excited. So I can't actually show you the unboxing, but I can show you what I've got. So it is, I mean, it's beautiful. There's so much stuff here. And it's gorgeous. I'm loving the colours. You probably can't see the colours, but as you'll see that I've started bobbinating the ones that I'm using because I can't work with it like that. I can, but only once I've unravelled it, I can't seem to ravel it back up. So So everything that I started to use has gone on to bobbins, but you can see sort of some of the beautiful, beautiful colours. Here we go. What's this one? So yeah, they're gorgeous. It's gorgeous. I'm loving it. I absolutely love it. And then I've got my beads, my little bead kit. So as you can see, European cross stitch. And I've got lots and lots of beads and sparkles and crystals, and oh, it was beautiful. So anyway, diverting off, sorry. All the beautiful stuff, and the silks are adorable to stitch with. But I already knew that I was going to love that bit. So, as you'll remember, I ordered the silk threads and the beads from the European cross stitch. But I decided that I was going to order my fabric separately. And you'll remember that I ordered my fabric in from Chromatic Alchemy. Well, I knew I had these, and I'd sort of done a floss toss on it and sort of decided that the colour that I was going to go with was this one, which is Cyrus 28 count Lugana. See? That was the one that I decided that I was going to go with. So, Chris, I didn't do any more with it because the idea was that we'd already decided we was going to do the start on the 28th of December. 28th of December in the morning came, so Chris, I jumped out of bed super excited because I was like, yeah, hey, we're going to do it today. So I was thinking, right, okay, I'll get all my fabric out and, you know, I've got everything ready. Then we had a slight problem, people, in that I had a meltdown. Because when I actually looked at my fabric, and then I looked at the chart, and I was thinking, hang on a minute. And I was like, I'm not sure about this. And I needed to try and find the centre. So, me being me, I wanted to know how much of a border I was going to get around the outside. So, when I purchased the fabric, I'd used the app. What one is it? Let me show you. Stay there. I'm not going to switch you off again because every time I do that, it's another stop. Ooh. Come back. Right. Okay. So, I always do my checks via an app. I don't calculate it myself. But when I made the order for the fabric, I done it via the app. So I thought. So I don't know if you've got this one. So it's this one here. Right there is the one that I use. Now, this is what it looks like when it's up. When I initially did it, I don't know if there was a problem with the app, because when I did it, it told me that the fabric that I was ordering was plenty big enough. Me, in my wisdom, I obviously either didn't enter something correctly, although when I double checked it again on the 28th, it still came up wrong. So there obviously was something wrong with the app, because when I placed the order for the fabric, it said that the fabric would be big enough for the piece that I want plus the border size, and it wasn't. So I had a complete and utter freak out, because I'm like, well, I can't do it. I can't start my project now because I haven't got a bit of fabric big enough. So then obviously my husband sort of had a little look, and he sort of said, well, you're not going to be able to get it on that fabric. Have you not got any other fabric? Now, obviously, I'd specifically gone with the 28 count because it actually asked for, I think it was 32 count. And obviously I didn't want, obviously because I knew that that was 28 count hand dyed, I was thinking, well, actually it's not 28 count, it's more 30 count. So therefore I'm close to the 32 without actually having to go with the 32. But obviously now I couldn't use my 28 count. So anyway, when my husband sort of said to me, just look through and see if you've got any fabric that is big enough size for you to put it on. So when I've had a little look through, I purchased in, I think it was a sale, some hand-dyed fabrics by Stephanie, but it's 25 count. So at first I'm like, well, I can't do it on that. I was like, I can't do it on that because it won't fit. I said, the stitches all look too big. I said, and then, you know, if there are beads that are too close together, I said, they're going to be too spaced out because it's so much bigger. Anyway, in the end, my husband's like, it should be fine. Over a big long run, yes, you might notice a slight difference of, say, maybe one stitch size. He said, but then you just put an extra bead in where you need to. He said, but over a short span, he said it shouldn't make that much of a difference. So anyway, I reached out to the lovely people on the Facebook page, on the Chatelaine support group, and they all come back and said, Teresa, that'll be fine. You know, some of them said, well, you know, coverage might not be as good as it would be on a 28 count, but 25 count should be fine. And I must admit, I rolled with it, and I'm so pleased I did. So, progress. So we did start on the 28th. Me, Mary and Donna, we all started. Me and Donna were the only ones that could get onto the Skype chat because the lovely Mary had family over, so she couldn't go on to the Skype chat and actually stitch and get those stitches in with us. But she was there supporting in the background, and obviously she's still working on hers. So, progress. So the fabric that I decided to go with in the end was the 25 count hand-dyed fabric by Stephanie, and I think it's called Abyss, ABYSS. And when I first sort of looked at it, I was thinking, it's too dark. It's too dark. It's not going to work. It's too dark. That's the colour of the fabric. So it's like a really dark blue in comparison to the fact that I'd wanted a lighter blue. But now that I've put it on it, do you know what? It's the best thing that could have happened, because I think the fabric actually works really, really well with this project. So, progress. Here we are, people. This is my progress on my Chatelaine, and I can't see a thing, so I'm sorry. But that is where we're at. And I have to say, I am overwhelmed with the sparkle. I don't know if I can make it sparkle for you, but you get the idea of how sparkly it is. I mean, I was petrified to start with to do this piece, because I had no idea if I was going to be able to do it or not. And once I'd done one or two of the specialty stitches, I sort of fell in love. But I think I've sort of fell in love with the sparkle. I don't think the camera does it any justice, if I'm honest, because you can't see the sparkle until you see it in person. But I am totally loving that. In fact, I'm so much in love with it. After I finished my Mirabilia, I was a bit like, yeah, I finished it. Oh, what do I do now? Well, now I'm so over that, because I'm like, yay, my Chatelaine. So every time I get a chance to stitch on it, I'm like, oh God. And then I was thinking, I really should switch this out. And I'm like, no, why should I? Having so much fun with it. I'm not switching it out now. I'm having fun. So yes, so there you go, people. There is my new start, my new love project. And so far, loving it. Don't get me wrong, there's a couple of moments where I sort of, you know, my heart feels like it's in my mouth, because I'm like, oh God, what if this goes wrong? But so far, so good. And it is. I love the threads. I love the colours. The specialty stitches so far, they've been fairly okay. And it is slightly different to if you're just practicing on a piece or there's a big bit of open fabric and you're just trying to do a specialty stitch. Because with this so far, all of the specialty stitches are sitting within a space that's been left within the cross stitch. It makes it a little less likely that I'm going to go wrong. But I'm loving it. Absolutely love it. I can see now why people get so, once you do one or once you've started one, why people are just like, oh, it's divine, because it is lovely. So yay, one new start. Everything is according to plan. Slightly different colour, slightly different size fabric, but hey, you know, like I said, I think it's actually worked out better for me on that colour than it would have done on the lighter colour. So I'm super, super chuffed with that. What else? Obviously, I hadn't really stitched on much anyway, because the last video I'd shown you my Mirabilia was finished. The only thing that I've actually stitched on, which I did before the Chatelaine start, was my Grace Faces by Josephine Wall. Now, I didn't realise how long I've been working on this. Do you know, I started this on the 31st of August 2015. 2015! I'm sure it wasn't, but apparently it was. So anyway, so obviously I thought, well, this one needs a bit of love now. It really does need a bit of love. So I did sort of get quite a bit done from the last time. So about now I should be posting some sort of picture of how you saw it last, and this is where we're at now. So I I sort of finished off a few of the threads over here. Got a bit bored with these colours because it just got a bit dull. I've been working in that section for so long with all the confetti. I decided to go over and start on the rest of the purple flowers. So here we are. So there's all the purple flowers. And we're just coming into a blue section down here. I think her face is about here. So it's working quite well that I've gone this way. I might go this way and then leave her face till last, because I think that might be another little, whoa, it looks lovely. Because when you're doing all these flowers, yeah, it's fine, but at the minute it's like there's nothing that's sort of really wowing me with it. It's just they're beautiful flowers and very colourful, but the face is what's going to make this piece, and obviously that's the bit that I do last, which has its own little upsides to leaving it till last. So yeah, so that's where we've got to. Still really love this one, but I did get a bit bored with the confetti and the same colours on this side. But other than that, I haven't stitched on a thing other than the chatelaine and this. That's how little stitching I've done, but I do think I've got quite a bit of progress done on this and the chatelaine in a short space of time. So, and obviously with Christmas and New Year and spending more time with the family and out and about doing stuff, because I have been much more sociable this year than I am normally. So a lot of Christmas and New Year was actually took up with going out, you know, went out to Uptown, went and saw a show, done afternoon tea in London, went for dinner in London, yeah, just spending much more time sort of out and about. And obviously having Darren at home made it so that we could do a bit more. Otherwise I really wouldn't have bothered. I would have just stayed at home and just chilled and done lots of stitching, but that's not a bad thing. So yeah, there you go people. Short and sweet. That's it people, we're done. Yay. So I look forward to seeing you at the next video. Hopefully the next video will be after the crew retreat, but before I go on holiday. That's the plan. Yes, that is the plan. That's the plan. So I hope you're well. Like I said, I hope you've all had a fabulous festive season, and that you're all having a wonderful start to your 2017. And I look forward to seeing all of your lovely videos. I have been spending a bit of time watching Flosstube, which is great, but I am so behind, it's ridiculous. But we all are, I think. I think there's so many Flosstubers out there now. It's hard to keep up, it's hard to keep on track, and I'm really not very good at a watch later list, no matter how much I try. So obviously where I can, I comment, but I tend to watch it when I'm on the TV. So I connect it to my smart TV and stitch at the same time. So it may be that I just hit the like button but don't actually comment, but that's not to say that I haven't watched it. So I am watching them, but I am very much behind, as is everyone else. So yeah, that's it. So I will love you and leave you. Hope you all get lots and lots of stitching time in, and the weather isn't too terrible where you are. So all the very best to you all for the January slump, and I will see you in February. So bye bye for now.